Leeward 851, turn right heading 180. Leeward 14 Papa, turn right 245, report localizer established 27.
Hey everyone, welcome back to DJ's Aviation and the fourth installment to the daily update video on the events which unfolded at the 2018 Farnborough Airshow. If you haven't seen the other daily recap episodes, I would highly recommend doing so. Today's video will focus on the new orders and developments within the industry. This may include letter of intents, commitments which took place during day 4 of the airshow, and so much more. I've covered a few of these orders and news in separate videos. Those will be placed at the end of this video. However, the orders I haven't covered will be placed at the start. In turn, this will allow you to exit off the video if you have already seen the other content. But if you haven't, it's all in the one place, therefore making it really accessible to you. We begin like all the other episodes in alphabetical order with Airbus. A customer has signed an MOU for 10 Airbus A320neo aircraft. Once again, the undisclosed customer strikes again, making it really difficult to provide you with any further information on it. The A320neo, as some of you may know, has the widest single-aisle cabin to date, as well as the very latest technology, such as new generation engines and sharklets. Altogether, this delivers up to 20% fuel and CO2 savings by 2020, that's not to mention the noise reduction by nearly half. More than 6,100 orders so far have been received for the A320neo by 100 different customers, clearly showing that the A320neo is here to stay for a very long time. Our next order, or MOU, rather, was from Vietjet, who signed an MOU with Airbus to buy 50 A321neo single-aisle aircraft. This was announced by the Vice President of Vietjet and Eric Schultz, the Airbus Chief Commercial Officer. As you will recall, Vietjet also placed an order at the 2018 Farnborough Airshow with Boeing just in recent days. This was for the 737 MAX, and this new MOU really just showcases how mixed the Vietjet fleet is, with them operating the Airbus and Boeing short-haul aircraft. Currently, the A320 has received more than 14,200 orders, and with 330 operators worldwide, trying to name all of these operators would certainly be an exercise. Moving on to Boeing, who also today received a number of new commitments and orders. However, 2 of them that I was yet to cover are from undisclosed customers. Boeing and an unidentified customer reached an agreement for more than 100 737 MAX airplanes, Boeing stated. This is with a list price valued at $11.7 billion US, and it will certainly boost up their sales figure just a little bit. If this buyer is disclosed, I will certainly let you know, so stay tuned for that. However, at this point in time, there truly isn't that much to say, which, like I've mentioned throughout this airshow, is extremely frustrating, as airshows have been known for such a long time now to be a place where carriers announce major orders and display their name proudly, not undisclosed. Next, we had Boeing and 2 undisclosed airlines reach an agreement to purchase 15 787-9 Dreamliners, with a value at $4.2 billion US, and that's at list prices. One of the airlines is a new 787 customer, we are told, with the second airline adding to their Dreamliner fleet. This is the Dreamliner effect. New airline customers are drawn to the potential for greater fuel efficiency and range and super passenger amenities, while existing customers have experienced all of these advantages firsthand and want to grow their fleet with more 787 Dreamliners, said the Senior Vice President of Commercial Sales and Marketing for the Boeing company. He also added, the strong market preference for the 787 is securing its statuses as the fastest selling wide-body airplane in history. The final order of the 2018 Farnborough Airshow went to Boeing, and was for the 777-300ER, an aircraft which hasn't been that popular at this airshow. Instead, the 777F stole the show, with DHL and Cargologic ordering the jet. Novus, hopefully I pronounced that correctly, announced a commitment for up to 4 Boeing 777-300ERs. The Dubai-based leasing company's announcement means this is the first direct agreement it has made with Boeing. At list price, the deal is worth $1.44 billion US. Novus said, "We are delighted to complete a new milestone in our investment strategy and our cooperation with Boeing," adding, "This in line with our continuous pursuit to create value within our aircraft portfolio. We have successfully invested in the Boeing 777 over the last decade with proven return on our investment. The aircraft type remains a strong, long-haul, wide-body aircraft for our airline customers globally. So that will conclude all the unseen orders and news that didn't get their own video on the channel. If you have watched my other videos from today, I'd like to thank you very much for watching, as you are now welcome to click off. Otherwise, feel free to stay tuned to see the other orders and more noteworthy news that I've already covered. In a huge boost for the Airbus program in what has been an incredibly busy day for the manufacturer, they recently received a new order from AirAsia for 34 Airbus A330neos at the 2018 Farnborough Airshow. The new deal isn't actually the first between AirAsia and Airbus for the A330neo, as the carrier previously committed to 66 A330neos in 2014. This brings the total backlog to a very neat and even 100 orders. In regards to the variant choice, AirAsia opted for all 34 to be the A330-900neo. Once again, this ties in with the previous order of 66, which was also for the Dash 900. The co-group chief executive of AirAsia said, "Our decision to not only reconfirm our existing order for 66 A330neo, but to add 34 more, follows what is probably one of the most throughout aircraft evolutions the industry has ever seen," adding, "We have looked at every aspect of the A330neo from technical performance and reliability to passenger comfort, and it is clearly the right aircraft for us to expand efficiently our fast-growing long-haul network." AirAsia notes that these new A330neos will begin delivery in the fourth quarter of 2019 and will be deployed on routes to Europe, with one of the main routes being Kuala Lumpur to London. Throughout the Farnborough Airshow, I found it very interesting to see how each day brings different things for the two manufacturers. It's almost as if day 3 was a very big day for Boeing, with orders in the hundreds for the 737 MAXs, and today Airbus has come out left, right and centre with new orders, and of course the Beluga XL takeoff and the arrival of the HiFly A380. This final order by AirAsia is actually set to be the last of the 2018 Farnborough Airshow for Airbus, because at the time of recording they are completing a wrap-up of how they performed at the airshow. Hey everyone, welcome back to DJ's Aviation. During the 2018 Farnborough Airshow, both Airbus and Boeing have been extremely successful in terms of orders and more. During day 4 of the airshow, with Boeing stealing the show so far in regards to new orders, Airbus has also had an excellent day, aircraft-wise. This video will focus in on the new Beluga XL, which in recent minutes departed Toulouse for the very first time on what is to be its first flight. The aircraft, which is the newest version of the Airbus Beluga series, will complete over 600 hours of tests in the air for the next 10 months. This is before it can even enter service completely. While the aircraft will begin undergoing flight tests now, it is worth noting that the aircraft already began tests on the ground in January. These tests further highlight the immense amount of testing that is required just to get a new type of aircraft in the skies, whether that be your normal A350 or the 757 or the 787. The new Beluga XL, which features the notable whale livery, departed Toulouse in the morning, where it was then escorted by a small private jet, which monitored the aircraft in the early stages of its flight and also took air-to-air pictures of it. There will be 5 Beluga XLs delivered, but before that the first needs to complete its certification process. In the Airbus livestream, Airbus did note that the new and old Beluga would eventually be operating together in order to deliver new aircraft quicker than ever before. This comes after the huge backlog of orders that Airbus face, especially for the A320neo series. A similar case is currently going on with Boeing and their 737 MAX, as the American plane maker has been receiving new orders almost every single day for the aircraft. With over 700 employees working on the aircraft, Airbus are no doubt extremely proud of how far the aircraft has come. Before I begin the video, I want to give a huge shout out to my mum, who was very kind to help me write this script, as it's been an extremely stressful few hours. Now, I normally wouldn't shout out to my mum like this, but I have to say an absolutely huge thank you, so make sure to also give her a big thanks in the comment section below. Anyway, back onto the video at hand. Coming right off the press is another movement at the 2018 Farnborough Airshow. That is between Boeing and Hawaiian Airlines, who today announced that they had finalised an order for 10 787-9 Dreamliners, At list price value, that is 2.82 billion US, and that's not including any discounts that were applied. The deal also includes purchase rights for 10 additional 787s if they do wish to activate this. A previous video of mine went into great detail covering the 787-9 and the whole Hawaiian Airlines saga. There's going to be a card in the top right of your screen if you would like a refresher or if you haven't seen that video. This order extends the sales success of the 787, which is the fastest selling twin-aisle airplane so far, with nearly 1,400 sold and more than 700 delivered. The Dreamliner's operational performance and passenger-friendly cabin does in fact make it an ideal aircraft to serve our flagship aircraft of the future, said Peter Ingram, the President and Chief Executive Officer of Hawaiian Airlines. He further commented saying, "The aircraft provides Hawaiian with more seating capacity and greater range to expand within our current network and offer new destinations to and from Asia Pacific and North America." Back in March, Hawaiian announced it had selected the 787-9 Dreamliner to run medium to long-haul routes. They signed a letter of intent at the time, and this is why they have now finalised that letter of intent. This order just goes to show you how committed they were back in March and have now followed through with that commitment. The whole order situation with Hawaiian Airlines back in February and March certainly caused a stir, with the airline shifting away from the A330-800neo, of which at the time they were the sole customer, and instead headed straight for Boeing. In what has been an exciting day for Airbus with the very first Beluga XL flight, in the past hour the very first HiFly A380 arrived into Farnborough to show off the brand new livery which features on the aircraft. HiFly at this stage will be receiving two A380s, which previously operated with Singapore Airlines before they were removed from the fleet due to the lease expiring. The aircraft touched down in Farnborough to a very large crowd. While not everyone may be fans of the A380, I can certainly say what HiFly is doing is truly incredible. The livery is absolutely stunning, and while not being with an official airline, truly highlights that it isn't too late to save coral reefs. On one side of the aircraft, the words read, "Coral reefs gone by 2050, which signifies just what may occur if we don't protect these reefs." HiFly have decided to paint the Airbus A380 in this particular livery because they believe putting the livery on the largest passenger aircraft in the world will help them spread their message about coral reefs and raising awareness. Through the A380 being the aircraft with the lowest carbon footprint per seat category, HiFly believe it is truly the perfect aircraft to place this very special livery on. It's finally worth noting that this HiFly Airbus A380 will be showcased at the 2018 Farnborough Airshow from the 19th to the 22nd of July on a static display only. That means it will be sitting and won't be flying above the airshow at any point in time. HiFly, the Portuguese wet lease specialist, provides aircraft to airlines with crew, maintenance and insurance. The company has selected the A380, thereby opening up a new business model, and this is taken directly from the Airbus statement, which can be found on their website. The HiFly president said, "The performance of the A380 goes in line with HiFly's environmental commitments," adding, "By producing only 75 grams of CO2 per passenger kilometre, the A380 minimises greenhouse gas emissions, being capable of carrying more people with less impact on the environment. Apart from its incomparable efficiency, quietest and smoothest ride, making it a true favourite for both airlines and passengers." I would just like to finish off this video by saying an absolutely massive thank you to everyone that continued to show up in every single video I published throughout this Farnborough Airshow. No, the airshow isn't over, but the majority of the orders have been completed now, so we will not be getting any more orders, and I'm not too sure whether I will still be doing recap videos. So once again, I'd like to thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you in 2 years for the next Farnborough Airshow, or next year for the Singapore Airshow, Paris Airshow, and a whole lot more fun.